Fair Lady 2JZ here. This is the day after I sealed some stuff in a couple buckets. I did this yesterday, and I came up here to check to make sure that they sealed properly, so I wanted to show you what it looks like whenever they do seal properly. So this is some hard red wheat that I sealed. You can kind of see that it's real solid. Like you can't grab anything to pull the bag away. It's solid in there. So the oxygen absorber did its job, and you can tell that this one sealed properly. So that's why I wait the full 24 hours, so you can make sure. I also wanted to add yesterday, I forgot that if there is a nutrition facts that comes with the bag of whatever I'm sealing, if they have one, I'll usually cut it out and stick it in there just so I'll have it for later. And so then I will just push it down as best I can and put the lid on. And I don't know, you may be wondering why Home Depot buckets. I think everyone likes them because the lids come with gaskets, so that's some extra protection from some oxygen and bugs and things. I think that's why everyone likes the Home Depot ones so much. This is another one that I can tell that it's sealed properly because I can't grab anything, and it's pulled away from the side, so it's sealed solid around here. And here's the sugar that I did not put an oxygen absorber in because that would make the sugar rock hard, and oxygen does not harm sugar or affect it, so I just left it out. So you can see there's a lot of play. So this is, if you had put an oxygen absorber in a bag and you came back the next day and it looked like this is how you'll tell that your seal did not work. And this, it does happen on occasion. Rarely if you, do it right and you don't, mess with it too much and you just let it sit for a while. Or I think the technique of starting in the middle and, going across one way and then starting in the middle again and going across the other way, I think that, really helps too, so you don't end up, instead going all the way across and you kind of pull it to the end and then they're misaligned right there, and I think that causes a lot of bag failures as well. I wanted to mention as well that I have some salt that I am going to put in buckets when I get some more. I have to go to the store and get some more buckets, but that is another one that you do not have to add an oxygen absorber to, because oxygen does not affect salt. You just need to keep the moisture out, and that's why I put my salt and my sugar in the bucket, so I can try to keep the moisture out as best as possible. Also, I wanted to show you here, I have a huge bucket of honey. This was a gift, so I got this for free, and I just thought it was really cool. Yeah, it's really heavy. And these three things, the honey, the salt, and the sugar, have an indefinite shelf life, which is pretty neat if stored properly. And the honey, I've heard that it may crystallize after time. I'm sure you've seen the old, honey bottle stuck in the back of the pantry that you haven't seen in years. But I've heard that you can kind of heat that up in a double boiler situation on low, and it will reconstitute and come back to a liquid form. After time, I've heard that it does lose some of its nutritive value, but it's not too terribly much. That's my cat. He's saying hello, I guess. Let me think. What else did I want to mention? I know there is something. Let me think about it. Okay, so I thought of the two other things that I wanted to mention. I thought, someone may be wondering, why am I storing flour if I'm also storing wheat? Wouldn't you make the flour out of the wheat that you're storing? And yes, I will eventually, but my family is, they do not eat whole wheat breads and things like that as of yet. We're working on it, but we're not quite there yet. So in a situation, if you all of a sudden start eating, all whole grains, your stomach is not going to appreciate that. So my thinking was to use the flour to help transition my family into whole grains slowly, so it's not all at once. So that was my thinking in storing flour. The other thing was I use 2 different sizes of the oxygen absorbers. I use these little small ones. You can kind of see in here this size. I use those for like vacuum sealing, like small things, like with the food saver. I'll use these, and then for the buckets, I will throw in a big one like this. I think this is 2,000 cc's. This was a bag failure that I had a while back, so I kept this, and so I could show it if I needed to. I think that is it. I think that's everything that I wanted to mention. So, I appreciate you watching. Take care.